All right, it's homework help week 5, day 3. First problem says, write 0.5% as a decimal and a fraction. And I noted that this one is tricky. And here's one thing why it's tricky, is when you look at 0.5, you kind of think it's a decimal. And the thing is, it's a percent. And here's what a lot of people want to do for the fraction. They just say, oh, 0.5, that means it's 1/2 is your fraction. But no, it is not. Let me show you why. First off, since it's a percent using deep, it is a percent, that means we have to go twice to the left to make it a decimal. So when we have 0.5%, I'm going to take that decimal point, move it twice to the left, and get my decimal of 0.005, or 5 thousandths. Now that we have this decimal 5 thousandths, now we can change that decimal to a fraction. Remember the steps. You say the decimal, you write it as a fraction or mixed number, and you reduce it. So when I say it, it's 5 thousandths. When I write that as a fraction, it's 5 thousandths. But then I have to reduce it, and you can type that in your calculator if you want, or both of these divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now watch how I do 1,000 divided by 5. I first start by doing the 10 divided by 5, which is 2, and then I just add the 2 zeros after the 10 to get 1/200th. So my answer as a fraction is 1/200ths. My decimal is 5 thousandths. They're my two answers. All right, now let's go down to the problem below. Write the rational numbers in least to greatest order. Now notice they're all negative, so before I even start, I'm going to get 3 blanks to help me out because I know I'll at least put them in those spots. Now the next thing I'm going to do is change them all to percents. Luckily, negative 300% is already a percent. Negative 3.1, I'm just going to deep add my 0, make it negative 310%. And negative 3 1/4, I'm going to first change to a decimal. So negative 3 1/4 as a decimal. Remember, negative 3 stays the same. If you do 1 divided by 4, it's 0.25. And then I'm going to deep that twice to the right. I get negative 325%. All right, now that I have them all as percents, I'm going to put them in least to greatest order. So also remember, as you're doing this, let me get rid of this, it's in my way. Okay, as you're doing this, remember to think in reverse. The number that looks the biggest, if they were positive, is smallest. So for example, 325, if it were positive, would be biggest. So that means it's the smallest and comes first. Negative 3 1/4 is least. That one's done. The next one that would look biggest would be 310%. So that means negative 3.1 comes second. And that means negative 300% is last. All right, I hope that helped. And if you have any other questions, make sure you ask me in class. Thank you again.